Hello, you lovely people. Welcome another episode of Watercolor Instructions. I'm your host Sunil, and we're going to do another landscape. We are getting close to winter, so I'm just trying to do a few of the winter scenes, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I will try to go through what I'm thinking in my head, and then we'll try to put them into paper. So this one is going to be a little bit of negative painting, as in we'll leave a bit of white in the paper for snow. So this is like a good cheat code for you to know. So certain places, when you want the white of the paper, you just don't paint. That's just a negative painting. I'm using 1/8 sheet. It's already stretched. It's Saunders, 140 grams, 300 GSM, and we'll go through the paper. Okay. And any painting I do, I try to do it in 4 steps: drawing, first wash, second wash, or the shadows, and highlights. That's it. For 4 steps. No matter what the subject is, we try to do that one. Pencil, I use a 6B pencil. And for somebody who's curious, I'm using a Logitech 1080p HD camera for my face. And I've got a Sony ZV-E10 Mark I camera on the top. Okay. And there is a little bit of a block which kind of helps water to continue over here. Okay. And for reference, I'm just looking at some Pinterest photos, and I know those are the kind of things which beginner or intermediate can try it out, and then I can show a demonstration. All right. So first thing first, we're going to just do a horizon. In this case, there's a little bit of slope. So, and we will do some trees. And these again are for some reference. Okay, so there's some trees. Maybe we'll put in a mountain range in the back and some vegetation in the background. Okay, those are just my references, and we will see how it goes. And maybe we'll add a dog or a person or something in the 1/3. So that's your focal point. So we may put in something. Let's say I put in a dog. Okay. So we will put in a dog and maybe a person. Okay. So that's our theme. We will start with the background. I'm just using a mop, a medium mop. You don't need a big mop for this one, or any of these kind of mop. I'm just picking up some. I will just clean up this green so that you can see what's going on. So there was a painting which I did. It had some green, so I'm just cleaning up. Okay, so that should be enough. Some tissue. So we need a dull, warm color or a neutral color. So I'm just gonna pick maybe a little bit of lavender. And maybe a hint of burnt sienna. Okay. So I don't know whether you can see it. It's barely visible, very light. But that's the kind of color I want. So I'm just mixing enough so that I have enough to go through the whole painting. Okay, I'm going to just go through. That one is a little too dark for what I want. I'm just cleaning the brush and I'm going through that again. So that one is fine. Okay, and keep in mind this is just a wash. And this is the snow, so I'm gonna just do till here and then just leave it there. Okay, as simple as that. That was just a straightforward quick wash And at this stage, I'm going to quickly, instead of waiting, we can quickly a stiff brush so that you can push a little bit of color. So we'll use some warm color. So at the moment I have some, I keep forgetting it. This one is Windsor Red. Windsor Red and some Indian Yellow. Okay, it is dry. We'll come in, go through some of the colors. Again, this is just first base. The trees will come over that, so okay, and we'll add a little bit of gray. We'll add some shadows underneath that in a second, but let's just continue with the painting. I'll switch to a smaller brush. I'm going to just use some Indian Yellow. And continue adding a little bit of red. We're just building different shades, to be honest. And I will add some gray to it. A little more gray. And some more yellow in the background. So we'll add. And at this stage we will try to keep the person, not paint over the person, but we'll just keep painting. Okay, so there is a little bit of drama going on over here. And let's do a little bit of mountain in the background. I'm just using a leftover green. So I just go through the top, clean the brush and soften the edges. Okay, that's all we try to do. And again, a little bit of tree in the background. Make it very light. It looks like it's in the background. Add a little bit of shadows. And at this stage, I think I'm going to just quickly dry. We're slowly building. For us. Yeah, just a little bit of somewhere in the background. Okay, so that kind of covers it. Now let's add some shadows in this area. So we need a lot of shadows. So I'm going heavy with a little bit of gray, and I'm pushing and trying to make a little bit of a story within the trees. Okay, so there is a tree trunk. I'll mix it with a little bit of red. Okay, same thing goes over here, a little more shadow. That's a tree and that's a tree. Okay, we'll come back and then we need to adjust the trees. Okay. So a little bit of shadows. Okay, so I am thinking this is one tree and this is another tree, so there is a little bit of gap here. So easy way to do is I'm going to just use the same brush. I'm just going to lighten up that color, use a little bit of tissue. So if that's your first tree, I know I'm going to just lighten that up so I know that's the tree. And I'm going to lighten this up. Then you might argue why we could have painted outside, but if you paint outside it just doesn't come out nice. So those edges, we are trying to adjust it, it won't look the same. Okay, that's your first tree, that's your second tree. Just a little bit so that we can see what's going on. So that's your third tree. Okay, so those are your trees. Let's clean up a little more. I'll use a little better tissue this time. The water is a little dirty. I should have cleaned the water, to be honest. But I'm not going to get up right now in the middle of the painting. I'm just lifting off some colors. Okay, all right. So at this stage, I'm going to put in a little bit of a neutral color like lavender. Kind of blends in. So I can see how it kind of settles down. That's like your first layer. Yeah. And there's a couple of areas where you can put in a few more trees in the background. A little bit of shadow on the side. Also kind of blends in. And now let's tackle the main two trunks. So a little bit of yellow ochre to start with. I'm going to go through some yellow ochre on this side. So if that is the side where it's catching some light, and I'm going to go to a little bit of raw umber. And again, I'm going to dry it and then just to get some more of the dry effect, but at the moment I'm just happy to just build the layers. Okay, and at this stage I'm going to think about what other branches do I need. So a couple of branches. Okay, and now going to add some more darker tones. I think at this stage it will benefit from a dry. To have some trees at a different height, I'm gonna just continue this tree to make it a little more longer. Yeah. So we don't want it to be the same height, so that there is a little difference in the height, or closer. Okay. So there are a few here. I'm just using a dry brush stroke, creating a little bit of texture. The same thing over here. Don't forget to add shadows to the branches, a couple of places, and a couple of maybe a tree just behind. Because it's a white wash, I'm going to just clean this pencil mark. Okay, so there is few trees which is in the front, few trees is in the back. And also I can do is couple of trees in the foreground as well. So I'm just picking up some lavender, adding in some tree in the front. And I will dip in some white. Couple of places. Okay, that's some white color. And now let's deal with the big portion of the snow in the front. Let me clean the brush. And again, by the ones I use, the white is a white gouache. Okay, you can't see it, but just a Chinese white or a permanent white, they don't look as clean as possible or as opaque as possible. So you tend to use a little bit of cheating by using a gouache. So a little bluer tone, gray. So I'm gonna go over here, a little bit of shadow. Yeah, something going on. There is a little bit of shadow, and I will add a couple of stone. Maybe a little more dark depth here. And very light colors. So there is something going on, but it is okay. That much is fine. Also, Everywhere there's usually something sticking out. So whenever you do it, you want to do a couple of twigs sticking out. This is a rigger. I'm just using a rigger. Okay. Now I think about 80% of the painting is done. Now we just have to deal with the person. So the person, use the smallest brush you have, or whatever the smallest brush you are comfortable with. I'm going to put in maybe a blue cap. A orangish white skin tone, and slightly puffy jacket. Okay, that's what is fine. Maybe a little bit of shadow here. And now let's deal with the dog. The dog, I'm going to do maybe grayish. Let's see, I'm going to just pick one color first. Maybe a little lighter. And okay, so that's your dog. And only thing remaining is to put in a signature, because that's all we're trying to do with this painting. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Again, get the drawings correct, get your wash. Again, it's a nice autumn, and trying to segregate the depth of the plants. Don't try to do it in one single layer, and add some variety in your foliage. And the dog, let me just make the dog a little more cleaner. Sorry. I am not happy about the dog. Let me just touch the dog a little more. Okay, let me just make the ear, the nose. Okay, I think the problem is I should have left a little bit of white in the background so that it can stand out. I'm going to see what I can do without messing it up. That yellow shouldn't have been there in the background, so that it's a little more contrast. I'm just trying to clean a little more. Okay, and now let me just try to add a definition to that dog. Okay, I think that one is okay. bit, but so that at least there is a definition of the dog. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me just peel the painting. And every now and then I record a painting and I forget to press the record button. I gotta constantly check once in a while. So that's an autumn painting. I hope you enjoyed it. So for the webcam from a distance, that's how it kind of looks. It's got negative painting and yeah, negative painting, trees, and to create that depth. And also it has a subject, a person and a dog. I hope you enjoy, give it a try, and till next time, thank you. And these videos take a while for me to do. It would be super helpful if you can subscribe and like and share it with people. That would be really grateful for me. Thank you and bye.